A VPN, short for Virtual Private Network, is a privacy protection tool that is quickly becoming a must-have. But why do you need a VPN, and how does it work in the first place? A VPN helps your data travel through the internet safely, without big companies or cybercriminals being able to spy on your online activities. Also, a VPN swaps the real location of your device with a new one. This way, you can virtually travel to any country around the globe. So, who can benefit from a VPN? If you're worried about your online privacy, a VPN makes sure your identity and private information are not exposed when you go online. If digital security is your top priority, a VPN gives a nice additional layer of security. It encrypts your data so nobody could see what you send and receive. If you are a human rights activist whose freedom of speech is restricted, a VPN helps you to bypass censorship and speak to the world. Or, if you're on holiday in another country, with a VPN, you can bring your home entertainment anywhere you go. Here's a pro tip: check out Surfshark VPN. It has everything you need in a premium VPN, awesome speeds, and industry-leading protection that covers all of your devices. All you have to do is click connect. Secure your digital life and enjoy everything good that the internet has to offer with a VPN you can trust.
Click link in the description and get 81% discount for your first order. Preparing for the critique. Develop a timeline for creating and finishing your project. Waiting until the last minute to create artwork can often be disastrous, and you may find yourself creating something that you are not proud of and that will not be evaluated favorably by your professors and peers. In order to create the most quality project possible, as soon as you are aware of the assignment, begin scheduling staggered deadlines for yourself to complete various stages of the project. Use a calendar or planner, either paper or online, to set deadlines for yourself so you remain on task. Breaking the task up into smaller parts can make it feel less overwhelming and can ease your stress both during the semester and on the day of the critique. Develop key talking points before the critique. If you have a well-thought-out why to your work, what it depicts, its purpose, and your thought process in creating it, you will fare much better in the oral aspect of your critique. A strong sense of knowledge and awareness of a piece that you created will be particularly helpful if your art is not its best on that particular project. Write down some bullet points on a note card or keep some thoughts in your mind to help begin and further along the discussion. If your project is a collection of pieces, be sure that you are prepared to articulate how they are related and interconnected. Communicate any questions or concerns to your professor. Your professors and instructors have an expansive knowledge of art and technique and are often more than willing to help should advice be solicited. Consult with them if you have any concerns or hesitations about making major decisions about projects. For instance, if you are confused about an assignment, you might want to reach out to your professor via email and ask something like, "Is there a specific painting technique we are required to use?" or any question related to the topic at hand. Keeping calm during the critique. Breathe. In stressful situations, the body can often tense up, making you forget to breathe, which can lead to greater levels of anxiety and stress. You will be better able to cope with the intensity of the moment and to discuss and defend your work if you are breathing properly. One quick breathing exercise that you can do before, during, and after the critique is as follows. Breathe in deeply and slowly through your nose, filling your lungs. Pause for 3 seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth with your lips slightly parted. Stand by your idea. If you've made decisions for a specific reason, explain them in an articulate and meaningful way. If your reasoning for employing a certain design or technique is important, share that information. Don't allow others to believe that your decisions were random or arbitrary if they were intentional. For example, if a classmate or your professor refers to your color choice as random, you might want to speak to how the color you choose is symbolic and has a deeper meaning. For instance, the color red might symbolize passion, blood, or war. Keep an open mind to critiques and try not to be defensive. It can be difficult to hear people pick apart your work, but remember to listen to reactions and opinions. They can help you further develop the piece and make it more successful and help you to develop your skills as an artist. It can be helpful to ask for clarification if you are confused about a certain point. If you still feel that a rebuttal to a comment is necessary, search for something in the speaker's critique that you can agree with while respectfully disagreeing with their larger point. For example, you might say, "I do agree that my brush strokes in that area could have been more precise, but I do not think that a change in scenery would convey the message that I sought to portray." Don't dominate the conversation. Though you should certainly speak to the strengths of your work as well as your design process, allow for a thorough critique from others. You will want to receive feedback on your craft so that you can improve your work. Don't interrupt anyone as they are critiquing your work, but rather listen as intently as possible. Take notes or have someone take notes for you. Critiques can be a bit of a whirlwind, and it is easy to forget names of artists, suggestions, and reactions. Oftentimes, you will receive so many comments and suggestions that it would be impossible to remember them all. Therefore, having everything written down will help you as you incorporate relevant suggestions later. The experience can be an overwhelming one, so try not to dwell too much on the details in the moment, but revisit them later in your notes instead. Don't take it personally. It is more likely than not that most of those offering critiques are truly trying to help and are not doing so maliciously. Don't take their comments as being inherently negative, but rather use the collective knowledge and strength in the room to your advantage later when editing your project. In addition to not overreacting to negative critiques, you should also not allow positive feedback to overinflate your ego. A positive critique is always welcome, but too much confidence can make you lazy with future projects. Applying critiques to improve your work. Reflect on the feedback given. Talk about it with someone if you need to vent, sort out your thoughts, or celebrate. You may want to discuss the information with classmates who have endured similar critiques or with fellow artists in general. Make sure that you consider both the positive and the negative critiques offered. Use the notes taken during your critique to think critically about your work. Read over them carefully and thoughtfully, and begin to ponder on how you can synthesize these critiques to create a stronger project. Be selective in the critiques you choose to incorporate into your work. Don't feel like you have to listen to everything everyone says, as this is very likely impossible, as many may have conflicting ideas on how to improve your work. From the feedback you receive, pick and choose which ideas appeal to you and make any alterations to those suggestions that you deem appropriate. Get to work. Now you'll want to begin actually improving upon your work and incorporating the new approaches that you see most fit. Creating a project that successfully and strategically synthesizes good feedback will result in a stronger piece of artwork that will likely be critiqued even less. For example, if you agree with certain feedback presented about your project, you will want to incorporate these improvements. Someone may have suggested that you lighten up the work using more pastel colors, so you could employ this in your art to create a stronger and more pleasing aesthetic.